You don't suit that dress anymore with your hairstyle.
The one crying is my daughter, Jessica. And the one who looks so happy looking at Jessica is my brother's wife, Hannah. She did something this awful to my precious Jessica.
I'll take that dress.
Hurting someone just to steal what belongs to them. How is this person even family? I won't forgive her. I'll fight her with everything I have. It's time to show her a mother's strength. I'm Michelle, a 47-year-old housewife. My husband and I have one daughter, Jessica, who is graduating from high school this year. Lately, I've had something on my mind. I try not to let it bother me, but the more I ignore it, the bigger it seems to get. The source of my stress is Hannah, my younger brother's wife. Hannah is a 40-year-old hairdresser. My brother, feeling pressured to get married, jumped into a speed dating event and met her there. As soon as they got married, she decided she wanted kids and started trying really hard to get pregnant. She even cut back to a part-time job for it. My brother is 37, so she's 3 years older than him. Maybe that's why she's so determined to have a baby. Whether or not she can have a baby is a sensitive issue, and it's not something our family has any say in. So, I've decided to stay out of it completely. But if I'm being honest, I'd rather not deal with Hannah at all. Since Hannah started working part-time and had more free time, she began showing up at our house constantly, uninvited and definitely not welcome. And her attitude and behavior are so childish that it makes me uncomfortable.
Michelle, isn't Jessica home yet?
Oh, right. She's been busy with school and her part-time job. On a weekday in the middle of the day, Hannah suddenly visited and relaxed in my house, and she kept asking me when Jessica was coming home.
I get along so well with young people. At work, I'm always surrounded by new hires, and I totally fit right in. When I tell them I'm 40, they get so shocked.
Oh, well, Hannah, you're stylish and look young.
Oh, stop it, Michelle. You're flattering me too much. I mean, I know I don't look like a teenager or anything.
I never said she looked like a teenager. Hannah was grinning and chattering so excitedly that I couldn't even be bothered to call her out on it. She started bragging about how she hangs out with teenagers as if she's on the same level as them. Honestly, I couldn't understand why someone nearing their 40s would spend most of their time with teenage coworkers and their friends. But, well, she's my brother's wife, so I just let it go. While she kept talking, Jessica finally came home.
Oh, welcome back, Jessica.
Oh, Hannah, you're here.
Hannah greeted Jessica and approached her. Jessica was clearly taken aback and instinctively pulled away, but that didn't stop Hannah. She kept talking nonstop, completely overwhelming both of us.
Oh my gosh, Jessica. Your earrings are adorable. Did your boyfriend get them for you? So cute.
Oh no, I bought these myself.
Oh wow. So jealous. Must be nice to have all your paycheck to yourself since you're a student. I wish I could get those earrings too, but I can't. I have to save for fertility treatments and help with the bills. Oh, those earrings are so cute.
For Hannah, saying, "I'm so jealous," is like reaching the peak of a mountain. The path she takes may vary from day to day, but she always gets there in the end. Compared to this habit of hers, her constant chattering and trying to act younger almost seem like minor quirks. She always had to go on and on about how jealous she was, to the point where it became exhausting. That day, her "I'm so jealous" had no end. She started with Jessica's earrings, then moved on to her clothes, her nails, and even my skincare products. She kept prying for details, only to sigh and say, "Oh, must be nice," or "I can't afford that." Having someone constantly envious of you is surprisingly exhausting.
Oh wow, those cookies from that shop are so good. They are amazing. So jealous. I want some too. Maybe I should stop by and grab a tin on my way home. But a whole tin for just me is too much.
Just as I thought Hannah's one-woman show had finally taken a break, she suddenly spotted the cookie tin sitting on our kitchen shelf and let out a dramatic sigh. She stared at it so longingly that even my polite smile was starting to wear thin. Still, I forced myself to keep up appearances. "Why don't you split it with my brother? We got these as a gift, and the three of us have been sharing them."
But I should be saving money since I'm trying so hard to get pregnant. That shop is amazing, but it's pretty pricey. Oh, I really want a cookie. So jealous.
Once Hannah reaches the peak of her so jealous mountain, she doesn't come down for a while. This is exhausting. I can't give her my earrings, clothes, or skincare products, but maybe I should just let her have some cookies. Actually, if I give her some, maybe she'll finally leave me alone. That's how relentless she was. And once again, her tantrum wins. "All right, why don't we all have some now? Go ahead."
No way. Are you sure? I'd feel bad.
Even as she pretended to hesitate, Hannah ignored the plate I offered and grabbed the entire cookie tin instead, devouring the cookies at an alarming speed.
Wow, that was delicious. These sweets are always amazing.
Jessica and I just stood there, speechless. Between the two of us, we only got one or two. Hannah ate the rest. And this is the same person who said earlier that she couldn't finish a whole tin by herself. We just sat there in stunned silence. Oblivious to our confusion, Hannah, now full and in a great mood, suddenly perked up as if she had found her next target.
Jessica's dress photos. You did a pre-prom shoot? Oh my gosh, that dress is adorable.
Only complimenting the dress. How rude. Excited, Hannah grabbed the framed pre-prom photo of Jessica from the living room shelf and stared at it.
So jealous. I want to wear a dress like that too.
"Well, what kind of dress did you wear to your prom, Hannah?" It had been over 20 years since her prom. I wasn't exactly eager to ask, but since she kept going on and on about the dress, I felt obligated to acknowledge it. Hannah pouted, looking dissatisfied.
I had to rent my prom dress. Back when I was young, it was all about going all out. I went crazy with my hair and everything. But seeing Jessica's dress, I kinda wish I had gone for a classy look instead.
My parents had this dress custom made for me. I love how elegant it turned out.
Since Jessica is our only daughter, my husband and I had both agreed we wanted to help her find the perfect dress, something she truly loved. Jessica visited the boutique multiple times before finally deciding on the perfect fabric. Of course, it was expensive, but it was definitely worth it. Hannah clutched the photo frame, staring at Jessica's picture with an oddly dissatisfied look on her face.
But doesn't your hair color match this pretty dress?
Well, I think it looks fine, but I was planning to get my hair freshly dyed before prom anyway.
Jessica has a hairstyle in her mind. She's been growing her hair out for 3 years just so she can put it up.
I want my prom look to be a little different from the pre-shoot, so I'm going to get my hair styled in an elegant updo.
Jessica was really looking forward to getting her hair done for prom. She had taken great care of it and had been patiently growing it out for the past 3 years. She was so excited now that it had finally reached the perfect length. Even though prom was still a while away, as her mother, I couldn't help but feel emotional remembering how she looked when she first started growing it out. Jessica chatted happily, smiling, but Hannah just nodded absent-mindedly, clearly uninterested.
Well, never mind Jessica's plans. I want to wear this dress too. I never had a wedding, so maybe I should put it on and take some pictures with my husband.
What? As Jessica and I froze, still forcing smiles, Hannah confidently clenched her fists in excitement.
Isn't this trending lately? Wearing the dress you had made when you were young and taking bridal photos. So romantic, right? My parents would probably get emotional seeing the pictures too.
Well, but isn't the whole point that you take pictures in a dress you actually had made when you were younger? You've never worn this one before. Wouldn't make more sense to rent a dress in a similar color?
But I don't have money for that. That's why I never had a wedding in the first place. I at least want to take pictures in a dress I love. This is perfect. I'll just borrow it today.
But this dress was custom made for Jessica, and she hasn't even worn it to prom yet. Lending it out for someone else's photo shoot before then just doesn't seem right. Also, wouldn't the sleeves be way too long? You and Jessica have pretty different heights. Hannah hadn't even asked us if she could borrow it. She was simply declaring that she would. Besides, Hannah is not that tall, but rather short. Jessica is taller than average, so the dress was tailored specifically for her height and arm length. That means it would be way too big for Hannah.
It's fine. I'll be super careful, and I can figure out the sleeves. I mean, can't I just sew them a little? I can totally do that myself.
She casually blurted out something outrageous. Sewing a delicate, embroidered dress herself, yeah, there's no way I'm letting her borrow it. Jessica and I exchanged a look and nodded in agreement.
I don't like this idea either. My parents let me take my time choosing the fabric I loved, and they had this dress made just for me. Anna, you should either rent one yourself or talk to my uncle about buying one.
Jessica looked a bit nervous, but she clearly expressed her feelings. Even in the face of her serious stance, Hannah frowned, twisting her mouth and eyebrows in dissatisfaction.
But if I borrow it from you, it's free, and I can take it home right now. I can get my hair done at my salon. Ask my friend with a professional camera to take photos in a nice park. Everything would be free. It's the perfect plan. All you have to do is say yes, Jessica.
She really didn't seem to understand that we were uncomfortable with this. Honestly, it was shocking that a 40-year-old woman was this obsessed with getting everything for free. I looked straight at Hannah with a serious expression, making sure she clearly understood that we were saying no. Hannah, I hate to say this, but the dress was custom made for Jessica. Honestly, it was quite expensive. It's not something that can just be tossed in the wash. If something happened to it after lending it to you, it would strain our relationship, don't you think? I can't let you borrow it. I hope you understand.
Oh, I see.
Anna pouted, but nodded, at least for the moment. But just as I started to feel relieved, her eyes suddenly lit up.
Oh, then just show it to me. You have it here, right?
Oh, I guess so. She was pushing hard.
The urge shelf from the top.
As I hesitantly pulled the dress out of the wardrobe, feeling pressured by her insistence, I suddenly heard her mutter something. Did you say something?
Oh no, nothing. Wow, what a gorgeous dress. So jealous.
She stared at the dress for a while, scrutinizing every detail, then, for some reason, took multiple photos of it. But that day, she left quietly without further demands. After that, I completely forgot that Hannah had set her sights on the dress. I had no idea that my lack of caution would lead to such a disaster. About a week after Hannah had asked to borrow the dress, something unusual happened. She didn't visit our house even once that week. I started to relax, thinking maybe she had lost interest. It was a peaceful day as usual, and I was expecting Jessica to come home soon since she didn't have work that evening. Just then, I got a text from her.
Hannah asked if she could practice dyeing hair on me, so I said yes.
Well, that's unexpected. Hannah, who's always asking for things, is actually offering something instead. Maybe she felt guilty about always mooching off us. I would soon regret giving her even a shred of credit.
Hello, I brought Jessica back.
About 3 hours later, I suddenly heard Hannah's cheerful voice at my front door. She even gave Jessica a ride home. As I rushed to the door in surprise, I was met with a shocking sight. Jessica, your hair. Jessica's hair had been cut into a short bob and dyed an unnaturally glossy, almost metallic-looking black. Moreover, her hair was messily cut and uneven. Jessica was face down and kept weeping.
Doesn't Jessica look adorable with this new hairstyle?
What? Hannah, did you cut Jessica's hair? What the hell were you thinking? I told you before. Jessica has been growing it out for 3 years for prom.
Oh yeah, I knew that. But once I started dyeing it, I thought shorter would suit her better, so I just went for it. She suddenly got mad, so I had to hurry up and finish.
Hannah laughed, completely unbothered. As I stood there trembling with rage, unable to find the words, Jessica let out a choked sob.
This is the worst. I spent years growing my hair out for the dress.
Hearing her voice, my heart shattered. How could she? She did something irreversible and is standing there laughing. I will never forgive her. If Jessica can't fight for herself, then as her mother, I will. I glared at Hannah, ready to unleash my fury. But before I could say anything, she suddenly shoved past me and barged into the house.
Jessica's hairstyle doesn't match that dress anymore. It'd be a shame to waste such a beautiful dress, so I'll take it instead.
Before I could react, Hannah sprinted straight into the room where Jessica's dress was kept, yanked it out of the wardrobe, and bolted toward the door at lightning speed. Stop! What do you think you're doing? I ran after her to stop her, but Hannah was shockingly fast. She bolted out the front door, jumped into her car in an instant, and sped off before I could catch her. Hey, somebody help! She's stealing! I ran barefoot into the street, screaming for help. At this point, she wasn't family. She was just a thief. But her car kept getting farther away.
Mom, wait.
Just as I was about to chase after her, Jessica grabbed my arm. But Hannah she took the dress. Just as I turned to Jessica in confusion, a sudden loud crash echoed through the air. The direction Hannah had driven off in. I spun around, and there it was. Her car had slammed into a utility pole. The hood was bent out of shape, though the damage wasn't severe enough to shatter the windshield. Cautiously, I hurried over and saw Hannah standing outside her car, completely stunned as she stared at the accident. The dress. There it is. It's safe. I frantically grabbed the dress from the back seat. The dress, still wrapped in its bag, seemed to be intact, but something was strange. Why is it making noise? A shrill electronic beeping was coming from inside the dress bag. As I stood there confused, Hannah suddenly snapped out of her daze, and exploded with rage, kicking her car.
What the hell did you do to me? The dress started blaring out of nowhere, and when I reached back to turn it off, I crashed. You owe me. Pay for my repairs and compensation.
Her voice was nothing like the whiny, carefree tone she usually used. It was sharp, aggressive, almost threatening. Jessica, who had caught up to me, shouted back.
Compensation? You crashed the car yourself.
It wasn't my fault. If your damn dress hadn't started blaring, I would have been able to focus on driving. And why the hell was it making noise in the first place?
I put an alarm security tag inside it. You always obsess over other people's things and whine until you get them. But you gave up on the dress surprisingly fast. And since you took a suspicious number of photos, I knew you were planning something. That's why I set up a security tag.
Jessica tapped on her phone. The beeping sound from the dress immediately stopped. I was completely impressed by Jessica's sense of caution. Jessica, that was incredible. I didn't notice a thing.
I just couldn't stand the thought of my dress being taken away without a word.
What the hell? What about my car? You better pay for the damages. And I want compensation for emotional distress. Because of your stupid prank,
Compensation? You cut Jessica's hair without permission. Are you ready to take responsibility for that? Hannah had been trying to intimidate Jessica, but my sudden outburst made her freeze in shock. If Jessica had the courage to protect her dress, then as her mother, I need to show my strength too. You ruined my daughter's hair that she worked so hard to grow. How do you plan to fix this? I'll get a lawyer involved if I have to. I'm not letting this go just because we're family.
Wait, a lawyer?
And just a minute ago, you were talking about emotional distress, weren't you? Do you have any idea how much trauma you've caused Jessica?
I was just doing my job as a hairstylist.
Your job as a hairstylist? Don't make me laugh. You tricked her into thinking you were just dyeing her hair and then chopped it off. That's not a job. That's assault. And on top of that, you tried to steal her dress.
Shut up. Stop yelling. You're going to ruin my reputation as your brother's wife. Keep your voice down.
Because of the accident in a residential area, a crowd of neighbors had gathered to see what was happening. Hannah, realizing how many eyes were on her, started looking around anxiously, her face turning bright red.
This isn't ruining your reputation. It's the truth. You hacked up my hair and stole my dress.
Shut up.
Hannah, who had no problem being aggressive toward Jessica, was now completely unhinged. Her hair was a mess, her eyes were bloodshot, and there was nothing cute about her anymore. As Hannah kept shouting, panting with rage, Jessica and I could only stare in disbelief. Just then, a neighbor spoke up.
I called the police and an ambulance for that old woman.
Hearing the word old woman made Hannah's expression darken even more.
Who the hell are you calling an old woman? I don't need the police or an ambulance. Stay out of this.
Don't be so ungrateful. And face it, you're not a young girl anymore. Stop trying to steal a teenager's dress.
Shut up. If Jessica looks good in it, then I will too. I take great care of my looks, and everyone tells me I don't look 40. Of course, I can pull off Jessica's dress. Don't look down on me.
Hannah screamed, glaring intensely at Jessica. Jessica, completely overwhelmed, took a step back in confusion.
I'm not looking down on you.
Yes, you are. You've always looked down on me. Always flaunting your cute clothes and accessories in front of me. And I'll say it again. If something looks good on you, it looks 100 times better on me. So don't get cocky.
It's not about what looks good on who. You clearly have a serious issue with your age. Stop trying to compete with a teenager when you're 40. There's a different kind of beauty and enjoyment that comes with being 40, don't you think? Hannah was speechless. Laughter erupted from the gathered crowd. Even I was shocked that a grown woman like Hannah had been competing with a teenager like Jessica. As she stood there, trembling with embarrassment, I pressed on. Anyway, Hannah, you've gone way too far this time. I'm going to tell my brother everything. I'd like to believe he's rational enough to see the truth about you and make the right decision.
What do you mean, the right decision?
I hope he divorces you. And if he doesn't, I'll tell him that my family will be cutting ties with both of you.
Divorce? Over this? That's ridiculous.
We'll see. As I smiled at Hannah, who had turned pale, the sound of approaching sirens filled the air. Hearing it, she flinched.
Please, don't tell him about the hair or the dress. I can't be single at 40. I don't want to be looked down on.
The only one looking down on people here is you.
If divorce is even on the table, then I'll apologize. I'll apologize to Jessica and to you as much as it takes. Just please.
Finally realizing the gravity of the situation, Hannah panicked and started desperately apologizing.
Even if you apologize, my hair won't grow back. I'll never forgive you.
Exactly. If Jessica takes this to court, you'll have a criminal record. You should be worried about more than just your marriage.
This can't be happening.
As we firmly shut her down, Hannah turned pale and collapsed to the ground. Just then, the paramedics arrived and began lifting her onto a stretcher. But as they did, she started thrashing and screaming.
Let go of me. I'm innocent. I don't know anything about the hair or the dress.
So you're still not sorry? In that case, we'll make sure to handle this properly. Prepare yourself. At my words, Hannah's eyes rolled back, and she fainted, foaming at the mouth. Well, looks like she really did need that stretcher after all. And with that, Hannah was loaded into the ambulance and taken to the hospital. Although Hannah caused an accident, she walked away without a single injury. But in the end, bad deeds always catch up with you. As expected, she was fired from the salon where she worked. The salon owner quickly found out that she had lured Jessica in under the pretense of practicing a color treatment and then butchered her hair. Hannah thought she could get away with it since she called Jessica in on the salon's day off, never considering that anyone at the shop would find out. But, of course, she was caught. Several staff members had come in on their day off to practice. She ended up cutting Jessica's hair right in front of them. Why she ever thought she could get away with it is beyond me. She always had terrible judgment. Hannah and my brother finalized their divorce. She fought it tooth and nail, refusing to be labeled a loser, but my brother was firm. He wanted nothing to do with someone who would harm his own family. In the end, she finally gave in, like an empty shell of herself. Now unemployed and single, her pride must have been shattered. But she had no time to dwell on it. Although her insurance covered the cost of the damaged utility pole, it didn't cover her car repairs. Not wanting to lose her car, Hannah paid the expensive repair costs to keep it. Even though her insurance premium skyrocketed, she just couldn't let go of things. We also decided to pursue a damages claim for what she did to Jessica's hair. Apparently, Hannah had been bragging to the salon staff about how she was doing Jessica a favor by dyeing the hair she had grown out for 3 years. It was clear that Jessica never intended to cut her hair, and that Hannah knew this. If needed, The salon staff were willing to testify, so we were confident we could demand proper compensation. Losing her job and now facing legal action, Hannah aged well beyond her years. Wanting to stay youthful is admirable, but when taken too far or fueled by insecurity, it often backfires. Hannah was a perfect example of that. As for Jessica's prom, after consulting with her usual salon about her uneven bob, they suggested a shorter hairstyle to Jessica. With the delicate lace headpiece, her new short cut gave her a modern, elegant look. Jessica ended up loving her new hairstyle, different from her pre-prom shoot. On prom night, she wore the dress we had poured our hearts into preparing, her smile shining brighter than ever. As my husband and I watched her, we reflected on the past 17 years since she was born, both of us tearing up at the sight of our beautiful daughter. Jessica had protected something precious to her with her quick thinking, and no matter what anyone says, she is my greatest pride. Seeing her standing there, radiant and confident, I knew without a doubt that no matter what challenges lie ahead, Jessica would overcome them.